Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and I came here to bring you that boom bap breakfast. And yes, not just me, but us. So get on the bus, get on the train, and don't get derailed, because we about to bring it to you like it's insane. Let me introduce you to the one and only Jackie Newman and Burn It Down, Kim Brown.
I don't dream that everything would be okay with me and you.
What is going on here? Wait a minute. Okay, wait.
Okay,
There we
zooming in, zooming out. We see
Yep.
it.
Uh,
Look at that. Look at that.
hey.
Now,
All
what
right.
beat was that? Was that backseat of my Jeep or was that Monica one of these days?
That was backseat of my Jeep. Look at you with your
Ooh,
your ear.
ooh.
I hear you.
Mm.
Nice with this shit. I keep trying to tell you. Nice with this shit.
Word.
I was a thumper, shorty.
It was, man.
Jackie, you remember backseat of my Jeep, the Swinger episode? Woo!
Look, what was that? Early 90s?
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
R&B in the late 80s, early 90s, all throughout the 90s. 90s R&B was special, different. That, it incorporated that New Jack Swing kind of thing. And then even the ballads and the love songs had that soft kind of boom. That I love that era. I love that era of music. It was all good. Even the bad songs, even the one-hit wonders were really, really good. So yeah, that's nice.
What was the original sample? What's both of those tracks based on, Ear Doctor?
Let's see.
I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to hit you with the algebra 2 question this morning.
That was calculus right there.
Calculus 2.8.
I asked you pre-algebra questions.
Man, I actually changed majors because I had to take a calculus class one time. I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. I was doing communications. I was like, what the hell you got to take calculus for in communications? Stupid.
Same.
Too?
Yeah, when I first went to college right after high school, it was computer science, and then I hated it. And then I decided, okay, well, let me try political science. And then it was like I had to take statistics 1 and 2. I'm like, yeah, no, nope, not doing it. I hated this in high school.
Take my money.
I'm not gonna do it now. So I just pretend to be politically educated. How about that?
Ain't that some shit? You actually paying for college and they can fail you? Like,
absolutely. That's why I try to take as many of my math requisites at Howard Community College, at my esteemed community college, because I knew once I wasn't going to be able to keep up with Temple level math classes, though I did have to take a social statistics class. That was the only math class I think I took at university that was required. So I was like, thank God, because if I'm never going to graduate if y'all waiting on me to pass all this math, like that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
bless your heart, Zenzabel. Bless your heart. Zenzabel said, I have a math degree. Math is fun. Listen, we have to define. We have to define fun, but okay. Outside of that, I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I mean, I call you a nerd to your face, but I'm just saying, the only people that big up math be nerds, and there's nothing wrong with nerds because I'm sure Zenzabel has flourished in her nerddom. So shout out to her and all the others who love to crunch numbers But some
Yeah.
people, and it's disappointing because, right? Because, the elders used to tell us, Africans and Egyptians created geometry. You should be able to do
Good
this Pythagorean theorem. I'm like,
I didn't ask the Africans to create the Pythagorean theorem. Nobody asked for that. I still remember most of the Pythagorean theorem, and I don't think I've ever used it in my life. That's how traumatizing math was to me. I remember the equations only because I know that I have never used these.
I can see Zenzabel going to community college or sitting on her couch one day watching that commercial. Like, you're sitting on your couch, you're not doing nothing.
Shut up.
Stop.
She got her online. He's like, go to this online college. He's like, word.
Say the good sis like that. Zinzi got degrees on degrees out here. You know what I'm saying?
No, but for people, I do, in all seriousness, I admire people who are very, very good and actually enjoy math, because I think it's just, for me, it's just kind of the way I can eventually grasp it. It just annoys me so much that I have to bother, because I'm like, what? Why? Why are you making me do this? I'm not going to use calculus, and I'm just not. I can add, I can subtract. That's fantastic. I can do percentages. Can you leave me alone now? Because I'm not trying to be a statistician. I'm not trying to be an engineer. I want to talk about politicians and their shitty politics, and I kind of might want to get paid for it. Can I have a degree for that? No? Okay, screw you then, because I'm not taking any more math classes that I got to pay. What was tuition at UMDC? UMBC rather, what was it? Like $300 per credit hour. So one class, 3 credits. So that's $900. I'm not paying $900 for calculus. I'm not doing it again. No.
Plus books. You're gonna need that book and that graphic calculator.
So I was just like, nah. I'll just.
Zenzabel put her stats up on the screen. She said, ear doctor, 4-year college, graduated 3.8 GPA in math. Bite me, bitch. I stopped eating swine. I stopped eating swine in like the 90s, so I can't do that.
You better stop.
What?
Stop.
What?
No.
Hip hop taught me not to eat swine no more. Bite me.
Get him, Zay. Damn, 3.8.
Inappropriate and unacceptable, sir.
Oh my
Isabel,
God.
come calculate my life over here. You over there with supreme mathematics, like Ghostface.
Like, you know what I'm saying? One of the earth bodies.
Oh Lord, yes, yeah. I know math is everywhere. I know. Oh yay, math is everywhere. This does not compute very well. Give me words, I can do everything with words. Numbers not so much.
I can do a little bit in my head. I can add, subtract, multiply, divide pretty good in my brain, because Miss Marcellus, my first grade teacher, said, because I would count on my fingers, and she'd be like, you can't count on your fingers and your toes and your buttons and your bows. You're gonna have to think about it and figure it out in your head.
And why did they tell us that? Why did they tell us that we can't use our fingers? Why can't I use hash marks and the pencils? And why can't I draw little diagrams? Why in this country do we tell our children that there is only one way to learn everything? And then when we get to be adults, we realize that they spent so much time focusing on how we learn, because we don't actually learn anything. We're taught to remember. We're taught to memorize things, right? So what we're not taught is critical thinking, how to think in in context. That's like, I've never liked the aside from having a hard time understanding math related. So because I just did. That's just kind of the way my brain works. My brain does not process kind of equation kind of things very easily. It takes a minute. My brain is very much more what do I want to call it? My brain is I do better with words than I do with numbers, which is why I was great with word equations, word problems. I was great with those. But those big equations, not so much.
I'm totally
But
opposite.
but I just don't think we do well teaching children a specific way to learn things. I think we should just teach the principle, teach the
Homeschool.
steps, and well, no, everybody should not be.
Yeah,
homeschooled.
not everybody, but some people.
No. Everybody
That's
should not be
one of the
homeschooled.
ways we're gonna be able to teach how we know. You know what I'm saying? If we find the right teachers and put them in the right school, but like you said, majority of they're gonna teach us the way that they know and the way that they can figure out certain things. Because I'm all math. DJing is all about math. I mean,
Sure
y'all
is.
see me struggling with these words over here.
I
So
can see it. I can
I
see
think
it.
you intentionally struggle, though. I don't think you
Yeah.
actually struggle. I think you,
No.
I think you performatively struggle. I think you be pulling our leg out here a lot of times, Air Doctor.
I
okay,
concur.
put some words in front of my face and see what happens.
What's going to happen?
You put words in front of your face every day when you
Every day.
when you put the title screens and stuff up.
You see, they don't be big titles.
Well, I love the way before we went on
Trying to
live
help you,
yesterday,
dude.
you were reading off
No
some
helping me.
Maryland towns. I was like, sir, that is not how you say Bethesda.
Oh, you know what it is? I look at a word and I if I think about memorizing, I just think of a word I know before and be like, oh, that's the word. I don't even finish reading it. I just see it on screen and be like,
Word
oh, that's that.
association.
Word association.
That's a learning mechanism.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah,
Jackie, how you, Jackie, you looking great? How's life
Thank you.
been? You know,
Life is kind of hectic. It's being in this new role with BAP is a different view of the work. It's a different place in the work for me. It's very it's different. It's different.
tell the truth, Jackie.
It's different.
You need some words, I could give you some.
I'm just look, it's I always tell people I never wanted to be in anybody's leadership, nothing. I just that's just not how I'm wired. I never wanted to be. But look, when you're called to do things that people think you can do, I'm just kind of learning to be like, okay, I'm gonna trust the elders and I'm gonna let you help me do this. And it's a great honor, but it's an enormous responsibility. Enormous.
They say the best leaders are the ones that don't want to be the leaders.
Yeah, well, let's not. No, that's I'm not even quiet. I'm just really like I really can't even find the word. I'm honored. I'm proud. I'm very happy, but I'm also very nervous, and I'm very serious about the work I do, and I'm very serious about this organization and the people in it. So I'm very, very, on my, you got to get this right. You got to do what needs to be done and that kind of stuff. So it's a lot more work in a different way. So it's a lot of, it's me getting used to it. And yeah, if you see that I'm kind of stumbling around because this is very new and this is very, very serious to me. So yeah, I'm excited, but this is a really, really big deal for me. So
okay, dope. Well, Jackie, you should have seen how serious I was looking yesterday. I caught me a tuxedo for my homeboy's 50th birthday party.
Did you? Are there pictures as proof? Can we see?
Well, you'll see some on after this weekend once I got fitted, went to my tailor, got, you know what I'm saying, got nice, and then the lady at the register said, do you get a veteran discount? I was like, yeah. Shit, I survived Jersey, Florida, Alabama, and Atlanta. And I'm here. What the fuck you mean?
I think we all should get veterans discounts.
Exactly. I'm like, are you serious? Don't ask me if I should get a veteran discount. Hell yeah, I made it.
On the bottom, son. First of all, I love black men in tailored clothes. Oh, the way it just drapes off y'all body.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking good. But what you got on the feet? Them gators be snapping. What we got?
No, I rock sneakers.
Aren't you 50? Where are you, Stacey Adams? Where are you, Stacey Adams? Where they at?
I do not subscribe to the age thing. That's ageism, and I don't like it.
But hold on, but Stacey Adams be on point though. I love
They
Stacey
be on
Adams.
point, all right, and be fucking your feet up.
All the Stacey Adams. Come on now, don't do
Now,
Stacey
I
Adams.
can fuck
like
with
that.
some Clarks, Ricky. You're right. I can fuck with some Clarks, but yeah, it gotta be a comfortable soul. I gotta have some comfortable souls. I don't care. See, that's why I don't understand why sisters be wearing these high heels like they do. It's uncomfortable. I don't care how good it look. If you ain't got comfort for the night, that I gotta be comfortable.
Whew. Glad them days are behind me.
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
I was having flashbacks, look, memories of my DC my downtown DC clubbing days. The heels. What was I think? And then you be having, first of all, you dancing all night in the heels. Then you gotta walk back to the car in your heel. You know what I'm saying? It was just a lot. It was a lot on the body. Having to go out and party and trying to be cute for the mans.
They make nice sneakers that look like shoes nowadays. So
No, I'm sorry. Sneakers are
Sneakers that look
sneakers.
like shoes.
And I have nothing against sneakers, but sneakers are sneakers. Casual shoes are casual shoes, and heels are heels. And heels, if you know what you're looking for, you can find comfortable heels. You have to try the shoes on before you leave the store. You cannot be just like, oh, these are cute, they my size, I'm gonna go buy them, and then you get them home and they've given you bunions on all your toes just by putting them on and standing up in them. You have to try out your shoes. You have to not always buy the highest heel that you possibly can. That's you have to know your limitations. You can find comfortable heels, and sometimes you do have to pay a little bit more money for some good heels that will last a long time, that will hold up to but and it doesn't have to be the Louboutins. You don't have to pay that much money, because I wouldn't give him my money anyway. But
but his name is Christian. Why don't you give Christian your money?
I'm just cheap. I'm just like, you have enough money. I'm not giving. I'm not buying that. That's like the reason I don't buy designer stuff, because they're already rich, and I'm not going to give them any more of my money.
I could see Jackie buying out Payless. You know what I'm saying? Just having multiple. Yeah, just having multiple shoes to. Wait a minute. Well, you don't fuck with Payless, Kim?
I did.
Don't front like you ain't fuck with Payless.
Listen,
I did. I found some really nice shoes in Payless, that a couple of pair that I still have.
Women come up at Payless, guys. But women, y'all got all types of fly stuff, because you don't never really know what's what.
I knew my daddy hadn't sent no money when we had to go to Payless. I said, God damn. No child support again, huh? Back to Payless. Thanks, Dad. Thanks. Good job.
Oh, those are scarring memories. My bad, Kim. I ain't mean to bring that up.
Hey, look, I ain't had no shame when we was poor. So we shopped at Morton's for my school clothes right over here on Pennsylvania Avenue, and Morton's was on Pennsylvania Avenue in Southeast, right over here. I am not. We were poor.
So is Morton's like a low budget, a smaller Walmart? Okay.
Morton's was probably the pre, I wouldn't say Walmart because they didn't have clothes, but like Montgomery Ward and Sears. Morton's was kind of like that without the furniture, right? And Morton's was a staple, just like what was it? The shoe place that specialized in children's shoes. Stride Right shoes used to be on F Street.
Buster Brown's.
Yep. Stride Right used to be on F Street downtown. F Street used to be the big shopping center for all of the working class and poor DC back in the day. F Street today looks like it does, but F Street used to be shops. There used to, what was it? Florsham Shoes was there. Stride Right. The men's clothing store that finally closed, and I can't remember the name of it, but Saturdays F Street used to be filled with Black families shopping. in all those stores along F Street. Oh, the Dornay Corset Shop, where mama took me to get my first bra. Y'all. Whoo, that's what it. Thank you, brother Jamil. Cavalier men's shop. Come on now. Don't y'all tell me y'all lived in DC. Y'all don't remember them Cavalier commercials.
Oh yeah.
And your brothers and your daddy and them going to Cavalier for their Easter suit. Come on now. Shoot. Those times in DC were so full of Black folks. It really was just that part of DC growing up for me was what Black life was in DC. That and the summer festivals that we would have, and all of that stuff is gone now. And it's nice to look back on that and to look back on just really simple stuff that was a part of Black life in DC that doesn't exist anymore. That's, it's kind of sad, but it's also a really nice memory to have.
I feel like training bra was like y'all rites of passage. Mine's was boxers.
Who said I got a training bra?
Yeah, you look like it went straight from training to professional with you.
They were professionals.
He had a professional bra. Oh, you were stacking early, but yeah,
the arrival of the bras was the dawn of harassment, right? Because as soon as the boys knew that you was wearing a bra, what happened? That bra was getting snapped.
Oh, word! That's what they were doing, popping it from the back.
I was
like as if you never. Don't act like you ain't never popped nobody bra.
I never did.
Oh, well, good for you. But your friends were savages, I'm sure.
I learned how to one hand untake it apart, but
not when the girls first started wearing bras. You wasn't macking like that.
He probably was.
Nah,
little 10-year-old Mac. He probably was.
Right.
12, 13.
You underestimating when the girls started wearing the bras. I think I was in the 4th grade when I got my bra.
Damn.
Yeah, I was in elementary school. Yep.
Yeah, it is about.
My mama took me to Dornay and walked in the shop, and the lady, because my mother would get her bras and girdles and whatnot from there, so they knew her, and that was the other great thing about everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody. So we walk into the shop. Hey, how you doing? Oh, yeah. She needs a bra. Come on. Damn.
And I know the flat chest girls was just sitting at y'all like this bitch.
See, but that's how you pit women against each other. And I mean, the so-called flat-chested girls, lucky them, they got to enjoy girldom longer.
Imagine finding out in elementary school that running track was never going to be in the cards for you because.
Yeah, that's right. Y'all gotta, man. And then now Big Booties is in. Crazy. What a time. All right, I guess it's time to get into some news and stuff like that. I would ask y'all about the big booty era, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into some news.
I was a participant. I don't know anything about it.
You wasn't part of the big booty Judy crew.
I never had the booty problems. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think no. Mm-mm.
What? Okay.
No.
Well,
no,
that's good.
I don't
that's
think
good.
so.
All right. Well, let's take it to the future and get to our first break. And hopefully we got some news today because we damn sure ain't had much.
Troublesome high school memories.
What are you
we did.
About?
Oh, I must have went to the bathroom.
You must have went to the bathroom, right? Amber brought us all kinds of news.
From Memphis? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you really miss the show? Like, chat, am I bugging? Did we not talk?
Yeah, it was a good show. I was just doing stuff. But yeah, Cory Booker, 25 hours. That's what he did. All right, let's get to it right here on the remix. Ain't that what happened? No? All right. This remix on the remix is for you.
I'd give a lifetime of stability. Anything you want from me. Nothing is impossible for you. There are no words for you. I'd give a lifetime of stability. do is for you.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to 1987 with LL Cool J off that soundtrack Less Than Zero. Name of that song is Going Back to Cali, to Cali, to Cali. Mixed with a little bit of 1996. Kenny Lattimore. It's like this is his only song because I don't remember too many other ones. Kenny Lattimore album. He actually named it after himself so you can remember who he was. And the name of that song is For You. Yes. A little remix on a remix. I had to get it right because it wasn't coming in right at first. Fell on track. But make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com. Become a member over there. Get footage that's rare. And yeah, you can donate at blkliberationmedia.org. And do that. Keep us where we at. And take us higher. Let's go.
Every note that I play, every word I might say, every melody I feel are only for you and your appeal.
You will not disrespect DC's own Kenny Lattimore in that
I was-
I
was
That's where they
down.
from.
Yeah.
I was downstairs getting my coffee when I heard you say that. I had to come back upstairs, balance
That's where
my
Kenny
coffee.
from. Give me another
One.
Kenny Lattimore song off the top. Exactly.
So what? So what? I don't care. He is
Never
done
too
something.
busy for you, babe. I'm never too busy for you, babe. Never Too Busy was a jam.
I don't care. I don't care if he does only have
You
one.
know that song? You know that
bona fide
song,
hit.
Jackie?
He's still DC's own, and
You
you,
know
can't
that
talk
song?
about him like
You
that.
know that song, Jackie?
Shut up. I'll come over there and beat you up. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
I was
don't
too
care.
busy to remember that song.
You are such a jerk. Can I say this though? Like a little known fact about me. I was actually the personal assistant to Crystal Waters for a year and some change.
Oh.
And Crystal, obviously, for those that don't know, was a dance music artist of the early 90s. She had a number of hits, including, La Da Dee Da Da Da, She's Homeless, 100% Pure Love. But, for someone that arguably, had a handful of hits, like it's just amazing to me how far one or two songs can really carry an artist and how many artists never get that one hit wonder designation. So many people have come out and released projects, and you don't know who they are, and their songs don't carry throughout the test of time. So even for Kenny Lattimore to have one song that is still, in my opinion, a big accomplishment.
Okay, Ricky Ryan Googling songs by Kenny Lattimore.
No,
Find
she
myself
not,
in you.
no.
I don't care if nobody remembers one word of the one
Don't start
song.
Googling, Kim.
I
Don't try to
don't
look for
care.
those
I'm
songs.
not Googling.
Don't care.
I
You
said
know what
my
I'm
two
talking
Kenny
about.
Lattimore songs. That's good enough.
Okay.
Look, it's
You're right.
two musicians you cannot talk about in my presence.
Oh, who's
Now, I
that?
don't care what they did. Well, to a certain degree,
Right.
but
Uh-oh.
Kenny Lattimore is one,
Really?
and Hamilton, Anthony Hamilton is another. Don't you say nothing about that little short man.
Nah, I ain't gonna say nothing about him.
Don't you say nothing about Anthony.
gonna say
Abdul
about-
Shahid Lukman found out. Don't you
gonna-
what?
I ain't gonna say nothing about Patches.
You-
I don't even know why you calling this man Patches. I'm just laughing because
When you talk about some people that need some Beijing on their beard, oh my goodness, Patches
you need to
McGee,
go
boy.
get your- It's like you're not good at growing that, man.
Like, some people get a
What's
pass
the-
for cutting.
You
cutting
like
their
put some
beard.
vitamin E oil on it. Put the
Something-
sleeve. Just-
God
come
damn.
on, we can do better with. Come on, but no. So my
I'm
birthday, Abdus. I don't know if I told y'all this story, but one year for my birthday, Abdus was like, "I don't know what to get you because you never want anything. I don't know." So he noticed as we're driving around that I like Anthony Hamilton. I love Anthony Hamilton songs. So he got me tickets to see Anthony Hamilton at Constitution Hall. And I'm like, so really great seats in the balcony, like to the right of the stage. And he is Ooh, he comes over to the stage. So Abdus is sitting there.
Oh,
And he
no.
is watching all the women freak out. And I'm over there just singing and
Uh-oh.
singing. And he is sitting there looking at me like, this was a big mistake. This
Mm-mm.
was a mistake.
He said, I'm getting the draws tonight. Best believe that. Shit, I spent. She happy. Can you imagine her going to Usher concert? Putting a cherry in her mouth right in front of Abdus. He'd be like, wait a minute, we got to go.
No, Abdus would have been in prison. He would be alive because he'd be in prison. Because at some point we were sitting up on the balcony. There was no way for that man ain't know me. That man, he comes over and he's singing to the people. He's just singing to everybody. And Abdus is looking at me and he's like, is he singing to you? Like, nigga, stop.
Would you have went for the cherry though in front of your man, Kim?
Hell no, I'm not crazy.
For Usher?
Jesus.
If Usher
First of all,
came and put that
I don't-
cherry in front of you, you wouldn't have been like,
You know it's estoy loco. No.
I do not know where Usher been. Let's start there. No.
I don't know where that cherry been.
Absolutely
I
not.
don't know.
Usher been with cougars all his life.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know where Usher
actually,
been.
Lupin was he was it. No, I would. That man would not have survived if he had come near me trying to put that cherry.
Mm. All right. Well,
Usher
enough-
did try to talk to me when I was when I was not a kid, but I was young, and he hit me with the whack line. He was like, "Don't I know you?" I'm like, "Nigga, you have a song out called You Remind Me. What are you talking about? Get out my face."
You had to think of something else to say other than you remind me.
He's like, "Don't I know you? You remind me." I'm like, "Nigga, that's the song. What do you?"
Man, they was all trying to get that Kim back in the
Eat
day,
it.
boy. What's going on?
Boy.
All right.
But they
Well-
wasn't. You understand? That's niggas' default setting is to holler. Like I never took it like, oh, Usher. No, that's what niggas do. Famous niggas, infamous niggas, no name niggas. That's what niggas do. Okay? That's just what they do. Like I never took it. I never was like, oh, I'm Spanish. Please.
I'm glad I don't fall in that category. All right, I'll
Yeah,
let y'all
fuck
get
you
to
don't.
it.
And
I was-
let's put it in proper time context, sir. At
No.
23, 24, nigga, please.
I ain't had no game. They just understood my story.
None of these
like
niggas
Nas
had
said.
game. That's the point. They did. None of them had game. Just. I just told you this nigga hit me with the whack line. You think that's game? That nigga had confidence. That nigga didn't have game.
Well, since this is Women's Wednesday, let me get out of here and bring forth Amber.
Oh,
Hey guys.
okay.
Right
How
on
are
time,
you?
Amber. I like it.
I just want to say, he sent me that link this morning. I was asleep. I don't know what he wants from me. He didn't text it, so you obviously didn't want me to be on time today.
Didn't we address this yesterday morning?
Y'all didn't resolve it.
Mm.
It didn't get
Didn't.
solved.
Mm.
No.
So it sounds like you need Amber's number so you can contact her directly. Because I agree. Who is checking emails at 6, 7 a.m.?
In the morning. Come
I'm
on
not.
now.
And I have a
The disrespect.
This is the kind of hostile
such a
environment we
hater.
operate in, y'all. I think we need to unionize and we need
we need to boycott.
You know, he would step across the line. Habitually. He's a habitual line
Press another
stepper.
motherfucking button, ear doctor. Press another one. You know that man said your full name on the internet last year when y'all was beefing, so I can find you anywhere.
Can I tell you, that was one of the funniest goddamn things I ever heard. It was just the way it was delivered. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, that's his name?
You wrong, man. And I was like, oh shit. But you know, that's not the real name. Oh
Wait,
shit.
his name for real?
Stop it. Knock it off. Cut it out.
But you see, he ain't press no more buttons. Oh, okay.
can I do the news now? I am destroyed.
Shake this off.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Journalist
All right.
face. Okay.
We put together, sisters. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Welcome everybody to the Remix Morning Show, exclusively here on Black Liberation Media. Today is a Women's Wednesdays on the 2nd of April, 2025. My name is Kim Brown. We've got Jacqueline Lukman. Amber the Great is joining us today from the Mid-South. We appreciate it. Remixers in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. Shout out to all of our faithfuls. What up, Zenzibel? What's going on, Leah Boggs? What's up? What's up? Y'all come on in here, press some buttons, engage with the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And Jackie's going to lead us off with some news. Shout out to the Ear Doctor, too, in the cut.
So I read this wild article yesterday, not article, expose in ProPublica about these ICE air flights. You know, the Trump administration has released these ASMR video. I hate calling them. That is so disgusting.
I don't even know what that means.
It's I think it's like, and for those therapists and psychologists who are much better versed in ASMR than I am, I just have a surface level understanding of it. I think it has to do with hearing sounds and seeing images that are repetitive and comforting. They kind of
about the ASMR.
Yeah.
Oh no, people just horny.
Oh.
And they like it gives them like a serotonin boost to hear like different sounds and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Like,
did you say horny?
Yeah, like
did
people
I
use
hear
it,
horny?
people use it for sexual gratification. Some people use it just for like a little serotonin boost, like to calm them. Like I know people who watch like the ASMR videos where they're like scooping marbles. Like it literally is like a anxiety easing tool.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. I was like, wait a minute, where the horniness come from?
Some people, because there's some people who have ASMR videos of them just talking, and they're just talking a very calm but sensual voice.
Oh, that's
like, I'm gonna eat this celery, and like they're like crunching in the person's ear, like that. There's like very much a sexual element that some people do, and then there's just like the regular ASMR videos.
Okay, I'm talking about the regular ASMR. I don't want to know about the
people on TikTok be doing a lot.
Yeah, I don't want to know about your clown kitten foot fetish ASMR video. I'm sorry, excuse me.
You made a whole scenario. I didn't even go there.
Because that's the way my brain works. I can't. You introduce something to me, my brain starts making pictures. It just does its thing, and it's very disturbing in there. So
I feel like you can differentiate the sexual ASMR from like the anxiety easing ones, because the other ones, they be having on weird ass outfits. And like for me, if you're watching an ASMR video, you're listening. So why would I care about what you have on? That doesn't make any sense. But now you got on this like cute little outfit with your ASMR video, when normally you're just supposed to see the person's mouth. Like most of the videos I've seen, you can see the person's mouth, or you see whatever they're using. Like if you're scooping something or you're cutting something, like you just see that, and the mic is like up on that, so you can hear better.
Interesting. Y'all in the chat, please calm down. Amber is not saying that all ASMR is sexual. She's saying there is a subset of ASMR that is sexual, and then there is the regular ASMR. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Back to the story.
Outraged at the thing they hear at the moment, and don't wait before they start typing, before they hear the rest. Woo.
Definitely a niche, like particular part of the internet. But I mean, I heard niggas was making lots of money on TikTok, so I get it.
Well, I have a lovely southern voice.
You should do it. You should use it, because they making like thousands a video.
Interesting. Anyway, let me get back to why I brought this up, because the Trump administration, you know, they put out these videos of the chains, of them laying out the shackles that they put on the people that they're deporting, right? And they called them ASMR videos because of that. And they really did. They focused on the sound that the chains make, which is, oh my God, it's just so disgusting that they called it an ASMR video, right? So ProPublica has done this investigation into the flights, the company, one of the companies that does the deportation flights. Now, I didn't even think about that there is a company that does this, right? I don't know what I thought about how this is done. I don't know.
Well, what
thought
we heard was these were military flights.
these are not
right?
military flights. These are not. Now, I'm not saying that they haven't used the military aircraft for some of these flights, because I think they did, particularly with Colombia. They put people they deported back to Colombia on a military transport flight, which is why, and they shackled people, hand to wrist to feet, which is why Colombian President Petros refused to accept the plane, because it was a military plane.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought that, because this is what he said, I thought that the other reason Petro, let me not confuse him with the comrade. Woo. The other reason President Petro said that he rejected the flight was because the people were shackled. However, I know that under the Biden administration, Petro accepted deportation flights from the US. And according to this article, deportees are always shackled on these particular flights from this company. So ProPublica is focusing in this particular investigation on the safety issues of these flights. The fact that because everybody on the flight that's not ICE or one of the nurses that they have on the flight, or one of the security people that they also contract. So this is the way these flights are set up. Apparently, there are the 2 or 3 flight attendants that work for the company. Then there is 1 or 2 ICE agents that accompany 100 or so deported people. And then there are a couple of nurses, but the rest of the security, and there are 4 or 5 or more security on the flight, they're all also private contractors. They're not ICE. So this is the way ProPublica explains this, the way the deportations are done through this company, which it's called Global Crossing Airlines. It's now called Global X, or ICE Air. The company was started which was supposed to be a limited service, exclusive charter flight company. This is how they branded themselves. They were supposed to be for, wealthy celebrity clients. That's what they hired people telling them they're going to be flying sports teams, athletes, all this kind of stuff. And then without any fanfare, without any notice to the people, the company got a big old government contract with ICE to do deportation flights. And then they just kind of told all their employees, oh, by the way, we have a government contract. Did not tell them what the contract was about, what it was for, what they're going to be doing. Everybody finds out, oh, we're deporting people?
Damn.
And told that the flight attendants are told that they cannot talk to the people being deported. They cannot feed them. The security people feed them. The flight attendants for the company apparently are there not to provide service to the people being deported, but to serve the ICE agents and security. And they hate that. They report in this article that the ICE agents and the security personnel treat them like they're servants. They cannot stand that. They don't like the fact that they're told by the pilots, by the ICE agents, by their bosses, not to talk to, not to look at the people who are being deported, who are sitting there on this plane chained up. They don't like the fact that the people are chained up. And by the end of this article exposing this investigation, they do point to several of the flight attendants that they interviewed for this piece left the company because they couldn't deal with the way these people were being mistreated. They point to one incident where this major person they interviewed is a flight attendant, a woman, and she says that her breaking point was when a child on one of these flights who was being deported, the whole family, mama, daddy, and the little girl had asthma, mother had epilepsy. The mom was having a panic attack because the child was sick, and the child had a fever of 102. The child began having difficulty breathing. The security and ICE agents didn't want to do anything. Nurses didn't want to do anything. They're telling the flight attendant not to talk to him. The flight attendant was like, fuck y'all, I am not letting a child die. Yeah. So the flight attendant runs and gets an oxygen mask for the child. And the security is telling the flight attendant, no. And the flight attendant's like, the hell with y'all. So the plane has to turn around to go back because it was halfway to, I forget where they were going, what country they were going to. Plane has to turn around and go back to the United States because there's a medical emergency on a plane. They get back to the United States, to wherever they landed, called an ambulance. Then, just to show you the level of degradation and disrespect and disregard for these people's lives that these folks have, when the ambulance came to take the child to the hospital, ICE would only let one parent go. They still deported the father. They let the mother go and still deported daddy. So that was the last straw for that flight attendant. She was like, I don't know if that little girl lived. But the two big takeaways from this article, what I want people to know about these deportation flights, is that they were going on all throughout the Biden administration, because this company, I think this article says they got their first government contract at around 2019, 2020. And private airlines have been providing deportation flights for ICE since before then, right? So these flights were happening under Biden. He was using companies like this for deporting people, and Biden was absolutely allowing the shackling of people getting deported. How do I know that? Because this investigation exposes that it is ICE protocol. It is written in their standard operating procedure for dealing with, it's written in the contract for these airlines that it is ICE regulation that the deportees, the people being deported, must be shackled wrists to feet. And should the occasion arise, other forms of restraint that they name in the contract are allowed. So I'm going to drop this article in the chat for you to read for yourself so you can see it for yourself. So when we say that we are not opposing the policies of a president, we're not opposing the way a particular president is carrying out policy, we oppose the entire system. It is the duopoly that has created this situation. This is the duopoly. This is not a Trump problem. This is a duopoly issue because Biden went along with it. Biden and Harris went along with this. And I have to wonder if when President Petro of Colombia was accepting the deportation flights under the Biden administration, even though those planes were not military planes, there were these companies, if those folks were shackled then too, because according to ProPublica, they were. So I'm just saying, I just like to tell people the truth to make sure people understand why we move the way we do. We in the Black Alliance for Peace, we're not focusing on, oh, we need to stop Trump. No, we need to get rid of this entire system under which Democrats really do the exact same thing. They're just nicer about it. They just don't tell you. They just don't make videos calling them ASMR videos, bragging about the fact that they're shackling people. Trump didn't make this up. He's not being extra evil by shackling people. This is the policy of the company that ICE has used under all administrations to carry out deportation flights. I just want us to be very clear on that.
But when I said that on the internet, they said I just didn't like Biden. But I said, you niggas dumb, because honestly, Barack was really winning. He was saying stuff the nicest. Biden was doing okay. But Barack really got y'all mesmerized. I said, you motherfuckers praising war criminals. But anyways, Biden has supported more people than Trump. And no one talks about that. But I was like, all right. And a lot of them was Haitian.
Say it again. Say it again.
I said, not only was he deporting people, he was deporting the niggas. And y'all defended him.
And what was they doing at the border on the horses? Getting the horses. The horses did not sign up for that shit. The horses were like, I did not want to be here to chase down some brown people. And the man acting like he stirrup and steer. Chasing Haitians across the damn river on a fucking horse under Biden. And what was his response? What was his response? Did it stop?
Touching the border. Here's a random niche thing that bothers me. I do not like horses being used for labor, like how they use horses with like the police, or like how they have like horse carriages. And I just really wish they would form a horse union so the horses could free themselves, because it really bothers me. Just like I don't believe in animal prisons, aka zoos, or the water prisons, aka aquariums. But yeah, that really pissed me off, because I really hate that they are able to use horses like that. And I just want somebody to free them. Like, white people love animals. Why y'all not trying to free the horses?
I mean, they love themselves some dogs, but then they train the dogs to hate us the way they hate us, and they traumatizing the poor dogs. And the dogs don't know. They don't understand. They don't, you know.
Ooh, I need to get a t-shirt that says, you motherfuckers worshiping war criminals. Ooh, that'd be so good.
I think it would be fly. I do it. We will.
So are students the ones that received emails from the State Departments about their visas being revoked, and that they had to report to their embassy of their particular nation, original nation of origin? Like, did we see that kind of targeting and expulsion? And not, trust me, guys, I am no defender of Biden or the Democrats at all, but I will say I'm not certain, or at least I wasn't aware of people here with legal visas being recalled by the hundreds and told that they will face immediate expulsion and deportation because of speech, right? Is that a distinct difference that we're seeing in the way that deportations at least are being handled for people who are not so-called designated to be so-called criminals?
Not you trying to do balanced journalism, Kim.
One more time.
I said, not you trying to do balanced journalism. Anyways,
how many people were arrested
at protests on their college?
At the protests and in the encampments in the last 15 months?
Because I mean, I'm pretty sure the president could say at any time to these private universities, hey, we might need to take some funding away from y'all because y'all keep criminalizing students for their First Amendment rights to speech. But he never did that. He just let those schools handle it how they wanted, and they were expelling students. The students at Vanderbilt here in Tennessee, they actually started their encampment first. They expelled like 3 students. They held their encampment for like 53 days. Which is like one of the longest ones, and they really weren't getting a lot of attention. I literally drove to Nashville and was helping them with some stuff, some organizing stuff, and they weren't getting like a ton of attention until they started expelling students. But Biden didn't help them people. They was writing letters to elected officials in Tennessee. Nobody was helping them.
Nope.
And now
I agree. Like the Biden administration was repressive in that way, or in allowing repression in their name. Were they canceling people's visas? That y'all are aware of. I'm not here. I'm not trying to hold a candle for them. I'm just asking a question.
I don't think they were targeting people who had legal visas, but I do think that people were being targeted by their schools, and their schools can put their visa status,
Right.
in limbo.
Because there were some students who were foreign nationals who had visas who were sent home under Biden because the schools expelled them. And when the school expels you, when you have a visa, you get sent home.
Yeah,
and they know that. And that happened under Biden. The difference was Biden wasn't the one saying deport these students, but he knew it was happening. He knew it was happening. He knew what they were doing, and he just didn't say anything about it. What he did instead was give the universities the ideological cover, the political cover to do what they did in targeting these students and expelling student visa holders, making sure, knowing that they were going to get deported, denying graduation for students, denying diplomas, canceling entire graduations, kicking students off campus, revoking their housing, all that kind of stuff, making them homeless, all this kind of stuff. What did Biden do to give them the green light to do it? He came out and said that the students were destroying property and harassing the Jewish students and making them feel unsafe. So then
he was calling them terrorists and shit.
He did. So then the universities had the political cover to go even farther with, because first it was just, we're just calling the police and security. Then it became the police. Once Biden comes out with the terrorists and they're destroying property, then it's dragging people off campus. Then it's, the kettling and the riot gear, and we're expelling students that we know are visa holders, and they are going to get deported. And yeah, it happened. It just wasn't done as overtly. It wasn't done as the main event. Trump
as widely, like it wasn't as many people, but right. I agree with Ricky that it does set a precedent, right? Like because you did a few while Biden was president, then that sets the precedent that Trump could do it too. And I think the only difference is that they're doing it at a larger scale, but also the fact that Trump is able to write these executive orders that threaten schools, that make them act, that don't even tell them they have to do anything. It's just a light threat, and they are choosing to act. Biden could have did the same thing. Biden could have made similar threats so they didn't expel those students or they didn't remove them. He didn't protect them because he said that we was Zion, that we hate Jews and we was terrorists. I said, damn, that's crazy.
I mean, and it's I this is just kind of a part of that, because I see where did it go? I don't like to ignore comments in the chat when they do need to be addressed. There's a reason that we talk about both parties, because the man in office right now is only doing what the last man in office did. He's just making it the primary focus of his administration. That's it. That is the only. It is the difference is cosmetic between Biden, what Biden did, and what Trump is doing, and between what Obama and Trump and Biden and Trump, they all did the same thing. They all deported people in exactly the same way. Trump has only made it like the premier thing that he is doing. He's making it a spectacle. That's what I'm trying to say. I had to talk my way up to that. Trump is only doing things differently by making what was already done in a polite, politically acceptable, very much circumspect, kind of way. Trump is really he's just making it a spectacle, and he is taking credit. That's the big thing that I want people to understand. if you want to focus on Trump, okay, fine, but understand that all he's doing is claiming that he is doing what the Democrats didn't want to do, couldn't do, didn't have the courage to do, but he knows they were doing these things too.
Yeah.
Trump is a con man. He is a circus barker. He's a reality show swaggering braggart. He likes the attention. So that is what he is doing. He's doing what everybody before him has done. He's just doing it in a more grandiose kind of way. He's just doing the same empire shit in a specific Trump way. That is why I don't focus only on Trump, because what's being done was not created by Trump. What is being done was actually created by bipartisan agreements between both parties. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the legislation that's used was implemented by Democrats. So this is a systemic issue. This is an issue of the entire system being the problem, and everybody who props up the system in both parties. This is not an issue of one particular president being the bad guy. They're all the bad guy, all of them.
Because the Democrats was lined up to vote for the immigration bill. They wasn't pushing back on the immigration bill. And I will argue that I think it's important to talk about how previous presidents handled issues and the current, so that you can strengthen your strategies. Like somebody was talking about how going back and forth doesn't help with strategy. And I will argue that it does. I think you need to go back at least like 10 years sometimes to see how different administrations handle different things, so you can use their tactics against them. Because like someone was saying in the chat, the soft language versus direct language, Barack Obama used a lot of soft language. And the way that people embrace hope are the same emotions a lot of people feel around fear, but they aren't as strong as fear. So he was able to capitalize on that and just use very kind, smooth, slow talking words, a very easy cadence, versus this very angry person who's like, fuck all y'all, we finna deport everybody. Like, that's really the only difference. They were all doing the same thing. The police were militarized under Obama.
Absolutely.
It didn't have, there wasn't a previous president or Republican or Biden or Trump. That was Barack Obama who did that to Black people.
Mm-hmm. And then unleashed them on Occupy Wall Street. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he broke that up. I mean, Obama capitalized off of the expansion of the powers of the executive that were set by Bush Cheney, right? Like Bush Cheney was the executive branch on steroids. And when Obama got into office, he was happy to have those expanded powers, and he also legislated quite a bit via the executive order. And then everybody just kept rolling. Trump capitalized off the expanded executive branch powers, then Biden, now Trump again, executive branch on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all, I'm smart when I'm in my bag. I just don't be on the show a lot.
What you do? What you mean when you in your bag? You smart, period.
Like, damn, Amber, I said, I know, right? I'm a genius. I hate to tell you.
You are. You smart, period. What you mean when you in your bag? You smart. Smart.
Oh, thank you, Ricky. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad y'all are seeing my actual full personality, but I'm not gonna hold y'all. This has been interrupting my workout routine. So I'm in my workout clothes right now. So as soon as we get done, I can go work out, because my dog looking confused because usually we out running. And I was like, man, I gotta go talk on this damn show. And he's like, all right.
What kind of dog do you have, Amber?
I have a German Shepherd Bloodhound mix.
Oh, no.
Just sweetie.
Here you
the
go.
Baby. Oh, look at the baby.
He's an infant.
He's a sweetie.
Flash guard dog. Perfect yard dog for the South.
Yeah.
Any guard.
People be afraid of him. And it's so funny because he's like a little child. Like, he literally sleeps in fetal position still. He's almost 9 years old. Like, he's literally a baby.
He's a baby.
Like, damn, it's a big ass dog. I was like, he look big, but he's not scary.
But that's what you need, though. That's what because I love that people were terrified of Brewski. I love that they are terrified of Kamala.
I love seeing the fear in
like,
their face.
leave me alone.
And he does have this thing where he will randomly start barking at white people sometimes. He don't do it every time. But this white lady sitting on her porch last year, I was out running. She was sitting on her porch, like, drinking some coffee, and he started barking and jumping up, scared the fuck out of her. I said, I'm so glad you don't like white people just like me. I'm so glad.
You're like, take your coffee back in the house, lady.
She left quick. I said, damn. There goes
Can't you see my mommy and me out here?
That was my Breezy girl. Breezy was team fuck the police. Every time Breezy saw the police, it was smoke for PG County cops every time she seen them. Shout out
She's
to the
up to our
dogs.
dogs.
Revolutionary
And
dog.
then the dog joined on the screen. That's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
and speaking, no, I'm not. gonna
Big
say
dog, if you're gonna
That's
say it.
okay. I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to say
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Because I felt kind of
yeah,
weird.
'cause, you know, I like you said the word yesterday, female dog, but I don't call women that. Anyway, I will be dog sitting this weekend.
Really?
Yeah,
For the
my
pit?
kids got their spring break, so they're going out of town. So I'll be dog sitting the pit. this
Oh, what
weekend.
did we learn
kind of
from
dog
the
is it?
last time we dog sat the pit bull?
Leave
Ear
them
doctor.
in the garage.
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
Shit.
Terrible. Why would you?
Because
Yeah,
it
why
ripped
would
a
you do
hole,
it
it
like
broke
that?
a window, it ripped a hole in the wall, so it
Uh-huh.
ain't gonna be hanging out in the house like that. No,
Right,
Jack.
but the problem is that you weren't walking the
I
dog.
was walking the dog.
Not to the point of exhaustion. You have a pit bull. Okay. Pit bulls is built 100% different. If you don't tire that dog out, that dog is going to wear your shit out in your house.
Well,
They
You
get
got to walk
bored.
pit bulls till they get tired, ear doctor. I recommend at least 2 miles.
Or if you have the situation, because we used to open the back gate, let Brewski run through the woods until he was wore out. And Abdus used to run out there with his big ass and run behind that dog. And I'd be sitting up here with this coffee, like, go, boys, go.
I fear this dog won't come back if I let it go running.
My
Ear
dog has
doctor, you
long
gotta
legs
walk-
like a horse, so
gotta-
he be out there running, like galloping, and people be looking nervous as fuck. I said, "Listen, he got to get his energy out."
All right, let's go ahead and take a break so y'all can get the next story. Y'all like this shirt? I did this the other day.
Beautiful.
What's on it? Is
You
that
be
Prince?
screen printing.
Yeah, that's Prince. Yeah, I got
Oh,
I
with
got
the purple. Oh, I like it. That's nice.
You went to the art store and got you a little hoodie and put a little picture on it.
Why I gotta
That
be
is so-
little?
Because
I
there's
mean,
not.
how tall are
You
you?
see how
Doctor?
belittle people's works by
Whoa.
saying little. You got your little hoodie.
What you
It's a
had
little
to-
a little hate going
I meant
on.
little like your
shade.
size.
I ain't say nothing
Yeah.
about your nice Waldo shirt you wearing, but we gonna keep it
It's
going.
a crop top. I like to confuse the people sometimes.
Where is
you know,
Amber? There she
Is
goes.
she a lesbian?
All right,
Is
let's go.
she not? She got on, boyish colors. Let me figure it out. It's your
Pie,
phone.
pie ruin up here. Anyway, let's go
Wow.
ahead and crip walking. We're gonna crip walk into this break right here. Remix Morning Show, y'all. Let's go.
They keep telling me chill, queen. Let 'em win. Let 'em win. Let 'em win. Let 'em win. Let 'em win.
Oh, I love my sisters. I love Women's Wednesday. Ain't nothing like hanging with them, having a good time, chucking and jiving, shucking and jiving. All right, let's talk about sisters. Let's talk about a certain sister. Now, y'all know, y'all tune in Friday. Y'all was like, what is this sister doing on the cover? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you about this ladies first. When we talk about great basketball players and what they do all around, we never really talk about this sister right here who goes by the name of Cheryl Miller. Now, if we talk about greatness, let's talk about it. Cheryl Dean Miller, basketball player, reporter for the NBA games, NBA TV, ABC Sports, TBS Sports, ESPN. Also head coach and general manager of WNBA's Phoenix Mercury. She got the Hall of Fame for the guys in 1995. And then she got the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 99. And she was also inducted into the FIBA Hall of Fame for her success internationally. I mean, everything. And she's the sister of Reggie Miller. But let me tell you about what she did in high school. In high school, she was playing a game where she scored 105 points. Now, we always be like, Wilt Chamberlain scored 101. But we don't talk. Yeah, I know it's NBA and high school is different. But I'm just saying, 105 points in one game? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And then she went to the University of South California, and she did her thing there. 4-time All-Star American. She went to the Team USA and did it everywhere. When we talk about one of the best to do it, we got to talk about this sister right here. Because then after she graduated had a knee injury from playing basketball, then she got into coaching. And she was coaching at USC for 2 seasons. And then after that, she went and started coaching for the WNBA, the Phoenix Mercury, and then went from Phoenix Mercury and coached another team. I mean, she's done it all. So I just wanted to give a big shout out when we talk about one of the greatest basketball players ever, man or female. I don't mess that up. I know y'all mad I done said female. Man or woman, she did her thing, so I got to give it up to no other than Cheryl Miller. Big up, Cheryl. Ladies come first. All right, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah.
And that's when I was watching college basketball, like hard. It was exciting to see.
You're not watching it right now?
It is March Madness. It ain't the great.
I haven't watched college basketball in years. I don't know why I kind of fell out of love with it. I don't know.
I know why. Because I too used to watch college basketball because obviously I'm lusting after the men's on the court, but now they're too young. I can't, okay, yes, that little boy, yeah, he cute. Yeah, okay, but he's a little boy. Like,
yeah, true. I'm way older than the subjects I would be watching now. It's a little creepy to be like, ooh, dunk baby. Wait a minute. Oh God, no.
Well, I'm not that old, so I definitely be watching.
As you ought to be, beloved.
But I actually only really watch the WNBA. The MNBA is boring.
The MNBA, you're hilarious.
Yeah. But
being honest,
she's done it. She's done it on every level in basketball. I gotta say, man.
Hold on, Cheryl. But did she play in the WNBA?
Did she play in the WNBA?
I don't think so. I think Cheryl's playing days were over by the time.
Yeah, because she messed her knee up after college. So that's why she got into coaching. So that's the only reason she didn't play.
Right.
Yeah, I did used to love watching her play. That was, yeah.
That Jerry curl fro she had, boy. Or something.
I knew you were going to talk about that.
Is it a Jerry curl?
Yes, that was a California curl.
Hell.
She had the DJ Quick jump.
Yes, she did.
Finally got the motherfucking CPT.
I really hope that y'all start calling it the MNBA after this because that's what it is. All right, thanks.
I mean, I tend to agree because if we got to call it the WNBA, why not?
Just saying, and they're not even as good as the women.
They're just bigger.
And can dunk.
Women can dunk.
Women can dunk.
Your short ass would say that.
Oh shit! Stop.
My bad. I am not heightist.
Look, my short ass thought it was funny because it's true.
We dealing with ageism, we dealing with heightism, and as soon as I say something, ableism, I can't win.
But you could say all the things you want to say that's heightist, not ableist. You can say as much heightist stuff as you want to.
You know, I'm just 5'1", and you got all the short jokes.
5'1"?
That's it. That's all there is to me.
You have a large stature, like you have a beautiful, like large, big presence.
Thank you.
I thought you were like.
Did you just call her big?
I used to be big, and then I had a kidney transplant and 14 surgeries, and now I'm not so much anymore. It's okay. It's okay.
I didn't mean big like that, but he's stupid. So
I know. I don't pay no attention to him. Look, all the shit I've been through the past 5 years, there's not a whole lot you can say to me that I'm going.
You definitely don't look 5'1", though. That's crazy.
Thank you. I'm that. That's it. That's all there is to me.
I feel like you could tower over somebody and scare the shit out of them.
I do. Now I have to tell you, honestly, because I am short, and this is very true. I'm gonna tell everybody a little secret that you probably already figured out. Because I am short, people have always, and for a whole bunch of other reasons, people have always underestimated me. They're always just like, oh, what does she know? Cute little girl, she'll know nothing. And so the personality I have developed is in response to getting a lot of that. So I respond to people the way I do because I expect to be treated like, oh, you don't know what you know. So that is That's where that comes from. It's not.
Well,
It's you know.
And
Now
as a
wait a damn minute.
5'2" woman,
Why y'all motherfuckers in the shit think I'm short?
as a 5'2" woman, I can concur that short people, short women in particular, get infantilized. You know what I'm saying? Like people treat you like a child because you are short, because you are small. And they have an expectation that you will, I guess, behave small. So when you don't speak small or carry yourself small, you know, it's a lot of who the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying? Little person. It's like, nigga, don't let this 5'2" fool you. I will step on your toes. I will kick you in the kneecap. Like what? Don't think that short people, because we short, that we not dangerous. Let's be clear.
Hey, since y'all packed with stories today, I had a question about this whole TikTok thing. I heard that they're supposed to be trying to sell it by the second, and not being able to sell it by the second, it might go away.
TikTok's been co-opted, man. There's a secret agenda in play going on with TikTok. The algorithm's all fucked up. People speculate that Zuckerberg could actually, and Meta could be the ones stepping in to assume some partial ownership of TikTok. Like I'm seeing a lot of stuff get suppressed, stuff that I would see with regularity. Like I have to go seek out the protests. I have to go seek out the organizations for them to appear on my For You page. For example, my Jaguar Right content is being suppressed on TikTok.
Thank goodness he's being suppressed.
I don't see Jag stuff no more like I used to see Jag stuff all the time. I hardly see it now. So something is afoot with TikToks. There's some fuckery afoot. I don't think the app is going away after they had that first blackout period. And then when the app came back, it was like, thanks to President Trump. I said, oh, there's some bullshit going on.
I thought it was going to be a big corporate takeover for TikTok, since it's such a big media
outlet. Still might be. Yeah. It still might be. But I don't think it's going away. I think it serves a purpose for the elites.
Yeah.
What was you saying, Amber? I didn't hear you. Oh, you got something in your mouth.
Hey, doctor, leave people alone. See, mind her business.
This is why we have to have the kind of attitudes that we do.
Niggas will wake you up at 6:18 a.m. with a random ass email talking about, can you get on the show, and then judge you for eating a piece of cheese. Nigga, I'm hungry.
Right. That part. Amber, how tall are you?
I'm 5'9" and I'm fat, so people are never coming up on me. Baby, I'm always giving a big stature. Motherfuckers always scared. Love it for me.
I'd be so jealous.
That's why I've been in a fight.
Hate y'all tall bitches. Seeing over shit. Imagine going to a concert, being able to stand in the middle towards the back of the room and being able to see over people's heads.
I do get floor seats a lot, but I don't get the ones right at the front. I get floor seats a lot and then be like in the middle towards the back because I can see.
The life, man, the life. Right. That's okay. I wouldn't trade, because I can't do concerts anymore. As much as I am fiending on trying to get to a Non-Point show at some point. I can't do concerts anymore because these osteoarthritis and these knees are like, why are we standing up for this long for any reason? No. So.
Mama got arthritis in her knee, and I just wonder, is it like a thing? Because why Black women always getting arthritis in their knees?
That's a good question.
Get eagle on. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's a very good question.
Because they're carrying all these men.
He tried to
definitely be telling people my back hurt from carrying all this ass around, but I definitely don't say it from carrying men.
I used to say that about my boobs.
When I lost weight, I lost a lot of boobs, and honestly, I'm so glad, because I was thinking about getting a reduction because they're annoying. My back was hurting. I said, this is too much.
Look, the amount of money you have, I know y'all were expecting something else, but you need this. The amount of money you have to spend on a good bra if you have large ladies. Listen here. Get a good bra. Spend the damn money, because if you are ample chested, back pain from the ladies is not something you want to deal with. And yeah, you're gonna have the marks on your shoulders with the digging in the butt. You don't worry about it. That's why there's all turmeric cream. It can help you with that. All kinds of good stuff. Skincare can work that out. Pay the money for a good bra. The first good bra I had, it changed my life. Changed my life. I hadn't had back pain since. And
When I
went
do
to the
wear,
doctor, and the doctor was just like, listen, you have two choices. I think I was maybe 35 years old, 35, 40 years old. The doctor was like, listen, you got two choices.
how
You
old are you now?
cannot.
I thought you was like 40.
I'm 57.
That's crazy. The more you know.
Not
My mama, she's in her 50s and she's trying to like hold out getting any kind of knee surgery or knee replacement stuff because they only last for so long. So like
Mhm.
her mom was getting cortisone shots. My mom was getting cortisone shots in her knee too. And it helped a lot so that she didn't have to get like a knee replacement. But I don't know if she ever knows she's gonna have to go back and get it or what.
Yeah.
Like she said, it's getting a lot better. But I know a lot of Black women who be having these arthritis and they knee issues. And I'd be like, bro.
And I'm not sure what causes the development of arthritis in certain areas for certain people than others. I don't know. That is an interesting, because I was overweight for a long time. I was overweight so that contributed to it. But there is also a genetic prevalence of arthritis in my family. Same thing with hypertension. Yeah.
Because my uncle just had to get a knee replacement. His daughter, my little cousin who plays basketball, who is very fit, just tore her ACL, and they said that she ain't got no tissue around her knee. Like they were like, they can't even fix it because there's just nothing there. So she'll have to probably get a knee replacement later in life. Like I think it's really just a family thing, but I don't think the size matters as much because I'm bigger than my mama and I don't have no issues. I do work out a lot more than her. Like sometimes I work out twice a day, depending on the day. So that also could be like if you're lubricating those joints, it can help. But she was a plus size woman, but she has lost a lot of weight and I mean still has issues. It's not always about the weight at all.
No,
and I definitely think it's a genetic thing because like our family has arthritis real bad. Because I have carpal tunnel and I got it in college. My mama got hers in college too. And I had to go to a chiropractor to fix it so it didn't turn into arthritis. My mama had the surgery, but I didn't want to get a surgery. So I just went to the chiropractor and he would shock my hand, like small shocks over time, and it healed it. So I didn't have to get a surgery. But he was like, if you don't, treat it, it can turn into arthritis. And I literally write policy for a living. So I'm always writing and typing. So I was like, I need to fix this because I'm struggling. But
that is news.
We're talking about Black women's health.
That is health news, sir. That is. But
it just sounds like
I had the wrong button. My bad.
But just to wrap this up, because Amber, you do have 2 stories in the chat. I do think that stress plays a huge role in the production of cortisol, right? We know that's true. We know that stress raises cortisol levels, but I also believe that stress and raised cortisol levels and what's it called? That we're learning that gut inflammation impacts a lot more than we thought. So I don't know if these arthritis issues are more highly concentrated among Black people than white people. I don't know. But if that turns out to be true, I bet you, I would be willing to bet that stress and higher cortisol levels contribute to that significantly. But that's just a guess.
I definitely agree on the cortisol part because my doctor and I were talking about that because years ago I lost a whole bunch of weight just to make sure I wasn't getting no health issues because I was pre-diabetic and I'm scared to stick myself with stuff. So I said, no, I ain't doing that shit. And she was talking about how my cortisol levels were still high. And I was like, well, I'm a Black woman in the South organizing. I'm always gonna be stressed out. And the only thing that was lowering my cortisol levels was yoga. So I was doing hella yoga in the morning. But it still didn't lower it enough. And I was like, life is stressful. I'm not gonna be able to do that. It's just as easy as other people. And she was like, yeah, so we need to figure out some ways for you to develop better boundaries and delegate some things so that you aren't as stressed out. And I said, damn, that's crazy. You sound like a therapist. That's wild.
You guys ever wonder what our actual health would be if we didn't live under white supremacy and capitalism and patriarchy?
That's how I felt in Africa.
200 years old. Everyone would live to be 150.
That's how I felt when I went to Colombia, Cuba. I'm sure that's how I feel. Well, how I will feel when I eventually get to Nicaragua. I mean, if I did not live under shit, my mama would still be alive. My mama, my husband would be alive. Do you
I
feel
just
me?
immediately
I would have looked like this 20 years ago. You know, if we didn't live under, I know capital, I know this system killed my people. I know that. So
It steals years, steals health, steals ease, comfort, all
It
of
does.
that. Peace.
And that's why I wish that like we had more access, especially like my parents and like my mom's generation had more access to like quit a job when they needed to
Mm.
or move to a different country. Like my mom was, she's like, I'm always kind of like in awe and jealous of the fact that you can just go. Like you would just move and do whatever you need to do. Or I'll quit a job. My mama's job was like killing her at one point during COVID. She manages labs. So she manages labs at a children's hospital.
Oh,
And she was like, I had to take a leave like for 2 weeks. I was like, yeah, because your job is stressful as hell and you need to set better boundaries. I quit shit. I was like, I'm not gonna be stressed out over this. She don't. And I said, and that's why you having problems. You need to like tell them people you're gonna have to take a little sabbatical. And she did. She listened to me and she felt so much better. She was able to eat better. She had to cook meals for herself. Like at one point, because her knees were hurting so bad, she couldn't stand up to cook things. She was getting stuff delivered a lot. She was able to stand up and cook for like a normal amount of time. Like the stress really does matter. Like it does have a big impact that people don't notice. But the moment I got on that plane and went to Africa, when I landed in Ghana, immediately stressed. Like all the stress is gone. I just like was chilling because nobody was fucking with me. I would be out till like 4 or 5 a.m. walking around Accra, having a good ass time. No one bothered me. I never felt unsafe. Like that was the least stressful I felt in a long time. I was like, I gotta go back.
That's the feeling in Cali. In Colombia, even believe it or not, even hanging out with serious African, the Jambu Baraka, that dude is he is way more chill and laid back than a lot of people think he is. But living in a somewhat more liberated place than here, that kind of helps. It helps, and it does feel different when you're in a place and you don't see the pigs everywhere. And when you do see them, they ain't studying about you. They ain't bothering you. They ain't looking at you. They don't give a shit about you. They don't. You go up to them and ask them a question, and they're like, "What? I'm just here minding my business."
Every time I saw a cop, they was sitting at a desk eating some snacks or like talking with somebody. They was never paying attention to me. I said, "Oh, you niggas don't care."
Yes and no. When I was in Honduras and the police in the street directing traffic with the M16, I was like, that's a mighty big gun there, sir. Like that's a huge gun. Now I wasn't thinking he was about to open fire, but
no right turn on red or else, motherfucker.
It definitely said a message. You know what I'm saying? I said that's a big fucking gun to be directing traffic, my nigga. Woo!
Anyway.
I love how the cops in Ghana will be like trying to extort you, but not really. They like make a little joke about a bribe. They're like, "Yeah, I need some money for a bottle of water. I need an ice cold bottle of water." And they be like, "Okay," and then just keep driving. It's so funny to me.
I'm with the bribes, man. If it hey, does this help to transact? Can we move along? Okay, 20? Yes. No
Jackie,
problem.
can you pull up the Wisconsin Supreme Court race story first, by the way?
Ooh, yes. Do we have a decision?
Yep.
Yeah, that lady won.
The white, the Democrat won. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I was kind of surprised, but not super surprised because I actually worked on a Wisconsin Supreme Court race twice in like the last few years.
Why won't you go?
They always have these spring elections, and so it's always a big deal trying to get folks to go out to vote because people are like, in the spring, why would I be voting? So I was a little worried because Musk was putting so much money behind her, but she whooped that nigga ass.
Mm-hmm.
How did what did it break down in terms of the?
Will it let you scroll down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, I can't get rid of this ad for some reason. I don't know why, but sorry.
It's the little tiny X. You got to click the little tiny X.
Yeah, I'm trying, and it won't. It just doesn't respond. It's just like nope. Gonna stay right here, heifer. So sorry. All right, I hope you can see the text there a little bit.
Yeah, I can see it. So Judge Susan Crawford persevered a narrow majority on the Wisconsin Supreme Court race Tuesday by defeating conservative Brad Schimmel. I think is how you say his name.
Be rad.
But I agree the real loser was Elon Musk. He and different affiliated groups sunk at least 21 million into a normally like low profile race. I've actually worked on their Supreme Court race twice, and they weren't even spending $1 million a lot of times in that race.
Wow.
I worked on an independent expenditure for one time. And I worked on just a regular Democratic Party Wisconsin race, and they weren't spending that much money at all. So, like, I think he definitely thought he was going to win this, but Wisconsin in their Supreme Court race is so high profile that I think that like people really were paying more attention because it's the only like Supreme Court race that happens so consistently and in the spring. It's really random. I'm like, why you got an April election?
What is it? What did the turnout look like this election, Amber, compared to the cycles that you previously worked on? Was the turnout significantly higher, or was it about the
I
same?
feel like it was the same pretty much actually. I'm gonna find an article that has the actual like numbers of folks who voted for her. Because there was another person, it was a lady who ran last time, and she had a weird name because we kept calling her some nickname. I remember that. It was really weird. People were trying to like pronounce her name and they couldn't. So we would just say the somebody, I forgot the term we were using, but people always knew who we were talking about. And I was doing an IE for that one. So we were explicitly telling folks to vote for this one lady. And a ton of people didn't turn out. Like it wasn't as many as people think. There was
Why was this race so important to the likes of Elon Musk?
The Supreme Court race is important because Wisconsin's Supreme Court is actually very liberal. And so if they were able to flip their Supreme Court, which they've been trying to do for like probably 10 years now, if they were able to flip that Supreme Court, then they can get some more conservative policies passed because, you know, a lot of states like Wisconsin or other like blue states have in their constitution very specific things like abortion care and all that stuff. So they were trying to change some of those things. And it's kind of hard when you don't have the Supreme Court. Oh, Ashley Nichols said it was a much higher turnout. I'm trying to find the actual numbers.
You said the Supreme Court of Wisconsin is liberal. Is that a contrast to how the state votes, let's say in presidential elections? Because Wisconsin has kind of been a bellwether, right? It's gone from blue to red and red to blue, etc. Is that accurate? Or it's always been blue? Or of recent?
Yeah, it kind of bounces around. No, it kind of bounces around. And then they had a recent, when I started working for the Democratic Party of Wisconsin a while ago, this was years ago when I was still doing like coordinated campaign work before I realized I hate them. They were trying to flip some seats. And then the IE that I worked for after that was trying to get a lady on the Supreme Court. They were liberal then. This was the one deciding seat. Like if they were able to flip that one seat, it'd be Republican.
Wow.
I found the actual link with the amount of votes. So Susan Crawford got 1.3 million, so 55%, and Brad Schimmel got 1,062,890. I do think the votes in Milwaukee are still being counted. When I did work for the Democratic Party of Wisconsin like 6 years ago, I was working in Milwaukee, and it took this was 6 years. This was 2020 actually during the pandemic. So this was like 5 years ago.
3 million votes for a state race?
Working with Wisconsin.
That sounds like a lot of folks to come out.
This is a higher turnout.
I mean, and that
I'm gonna find the one right before this.
And that's wild because, you know, we always talk about democracy in other countries, real democracy, actual democracy, where and it's easier for us to say, or it's more accurate for us to say democracy in elections in other countries, because the voter turnout in elections in other countries is always like 80-something%, above 80% of the population, where we can barely get 50% of not anywhere near 50% of the population, of the eligible voting population in this country to come out and vote. So this is the higher turnout here in Wisconsin, obviously a response to Musk and Trump, which is okay. All right. If this is what it takes to get people to pay attention to the process, okay, I guess. But at this point, it's like, you know, outside of these kind of local elections, if this is the way, so this is what's going to happen in the next presidential election. and it's great because there's going to be this enormous turnout, and it's going to be people are going to be all excited. Because people are going to come out to vote because they certainly don't want more Trump. And this is what I think the midterm elections are going to be like also, right? Because people want to take away, make sure that the Republicans do not maintain control of the House, which makes sense. That's great. Problem is,
it's gonna be hard.
That. And then when we do this, not we as in me, because I ain't doing shit, but when people go to vote for 2020 in 2028 for the presidential election, you still have the same two shitty choices.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that the momentum they feel like people are feeling from hating Trump will transfer over to congressional races like they think it will. It actually will take a lot of organizing work. And I think that they're banking on people just hating Trump so much in their Congress member that they're going to go out. But that's not what happens. I did pull up the 2023 race because I was trying to remember the terms. So this was the seat that flipped the Supreme Court. Her name was Janet Protasiewicz, and we called her Judge Janet. I was like, I knew it was something we called her Judge Janet. And the Supreme Court in Wisconsin has 10-year terms, and a judge who was conservative retired after 20 years, and she leaned conservative, and they were getting the majority because of her. So this one race in 2023 flipped it for Judge Janet, who is more liberal. So they were trying to maintain that liberal majority for this race that just happened yesterday. In that election, Janet got 1,021,822 votes, and Daniel Kelly, the conservative guy, got 818,391. So still a close race, but way less turnout than the previous one. And actually, she won by 55% like the other lady. But it was less votes. So I do agree there was a really big turnout this time. And I think honestly, it was fueled by the Musk hate. Like, I think he thought that spending money was going to work, but people really do just hate his fucking guts. So it didn't go like he thought it was. And for the person who asked if I work in DNC circles in the chat, I don't. I worked on Democratic Party elections because they pay good money. And I was a nigga who needed a job. And I did not want to work in stuff I didn't want to do. And I like policy. So I worked on campaigns. But that was only because in 2020, they were paying like out the wazoo. I was working on 2 campaigns at one time at one point because they were paying like $6,000 a month each. So that's how I was making bank. And then I switched and I stopped doing them. But I did them for a little while. Then I did an IE, now I work at a nonprofit. So I switched up, but I was never in the DNC circles. I wasn't popular like that. I'm not a consultant in like, political spaces or nothing like where they getting the big contracts. That ain't me. I was literally working for the Democratic Party of Wisconsin. Like, and then I will say the Dem Party of Wisconsin is a lot more liberal and out there than down south. Democratic Party of Georgia, I work for them too, and they fucking sucked. They paid like shit, and they treated their employees like shit. And we was on the internet talking hella shit about them at one point because they was really with the shit. I was like, bro, why do you think I can treat people like this? I ain't like that.
The other races that happened yesterday, or there wasn't there
the
2
congressional races. They both
Florida?
lost.
The Dems lost. Who lost?
The Dems lost, but they actually did. There were several counties in Congressional District 1. I was looking at the analysis this morning because one of my friends at my job is the organizer in Florida. They flipped Escambia County blue, and it has not been blue for over 100 years.
Oh, wow.
So there were several counties in different congressional districts. I got to look at CD6 when they come out, the actual analysis results, but he had the CD1 ones already. And for Congressional District 1, that county flipped blue, and the county right next to it was a few points shy of flipping too.
In the race yesterday? In the congressional race?
Interesting.
The congressional race in Florida, it was 2. Congressional District 1 and Congressional District 6.
I'm sorry. Which candidate won and lost? I mean,
both of the Republicans won. Both of the Dems lost.
Republicans both won. Okay, got it. Okay.
But I do think that this was a great way to set the stage for a possible Dem win in the future, because I do think there were more Democrats in the area that weren't voting. And so they were able to get them to come out and vote or to flip. And that does set a better stage for next year for those congressional races. I do think it's possible. I think it's slim. It's going to take a lot of organizing, but the amount of organizing they put into the special election, if they double that, they could flip some of the seats. It's just going to be hard, but it's not impossible. I mean, they showed that with that one county that flipped.
And see, that's the thing. I think this is the tension when we're talking about electoral politics and where we need to go. as a country, as a society, right? As human beings, because, you know, again, we're talking about organizing people to vote for Democrats, which, and yes, the Democratic Party on the state levels in some states can be a little different from the national structure. And that's true. We don't understand the nature of the state party apparatuses, and even the local party apparatuses can be kind of different, a little bit different, but still we're talking about getting people, organizing to get people to continue to vote for the duopoly, right? And what that means is we're not organizing people to think of this society outside of this duopoly. How do we get people? At what point are we able to get these folks who were just now realizing, oh, well, I guess I should be voting for somebody, which, you know, so people are still invested in sustaining the duopoly, right? And that's what a lot of organizing is focusing on right now at the state and local level. So that means there's not as much organizing that needs to be done in what happens when this empire falls. What happens beyond the duopoly? What do you want? Because I can tell you that the right is organized to establish exactly that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. If we are wondering what the right has been doing, people are focusing on little things here and there. No, we're seeing the result of their organization, right? And they're not concerned at this point about legal anything. That judges are issuing rulings against these executive orders, and they don't care. They ain't paying attention to none of it, because they have organized to a point where they knew this was going to happen and they're prepared for it. They have systems in place to completely ignore the legal apparatus that's supposed to be the checks and balances for this system. They've got organized systems and people in place to continue to carry out their plans, regardless of what the so-called authorities do. And we're sitting here asking, okay, who is going to enforce the so-called law? And they're just like, we don't even care. We don't care. and where are we in this organizing? Are we anywhere near that level of organizing? No, we're not.
Yeah. I was wondering why the Green Party didn't run any candidates for the congressional district races, because I know y'all be getting a lot of hate about how y'all only run for the presidency. And I said, well, I heard someone was running for city council. I don't know. But I did think it was interesting because the Supreme Court race in Wisconsin didn't have a Green Party candidate either. But I know someone in the chat mentioned how they were pushing folks out on like the ballots there. And I do remember that too. Like how they pushed some of the Green Party candidates off the ballot.
That was the Democrats that did that. It was the Democrats.
They was fighting tooth and nail in Georgia. I said, damn, y'all hate them people down there.
And don't get me started. And now I'm not a member of the Green Party. I did work on the campaign. That's all I can say.
Do you feel like it was worth your time?
On a personal and organizational level, yes.
And you was volunteering?
I needed to do it to learn what I did.
Because I was gonna say you should have been getting a check. Because I know.
Oh no! They paid me. No! I got paid. I'm sorry. No! Baby, I'm 57. I can't do shit for free no more.
Exactly.
I got me to feed. I have an extensive skincare routine that I must maintain. I have a dog that has he has expected now a certain level of food that I must maintain, or else we're gonna be beefing. Jackie can't do shit for free no more. So
eats them quail eggs.
You know, outside, I freely give of my time to my church and my organization. Everybody else, you got to pay
No.
me. So no, I did not volunteer to work on the Green Party campaign.
Somebody in the chat
but I had to
mentioned-
learn what I learned. I had to see what I saw.
I'm glad you got the experience. I mean, I tell people all the time you should just do it for the experience. Also, I would say the best place to meet people to corrupt is working on Dem campaigns, because I met so many people who felt like they were abolitionists and like that I connected to orgs that I never would have met if I wasn't working. Because a lot of them are just like, well, this is the only option we have. Like in Georgia, the Dem party is so big, they just have a lot of jobs. So like, yeah, people are going to work those jobs, but they don't believe half that shit. And so then I was like, well, you should join this org that's doing this kind of abolitionist organizing. And they were like, oh, hell yeah. Like that happens a lot. And I think people don't.
and I just have to tell you, Ricky Ryan, she don't just be organizing people. She be the skin is her fault. It is her fault, because while I was doing my skin was a mess during the whole dialysis because of the stress and the toxins that I could not clean because my kidneys had failed, and the dialysis and the stress. And also I had cystic acne. And then I hyperpigment also. So when I bruise, I bruise.
Oh, yeah,
So my skin was a mess. Yeah, it was just, I was ashy looking. People were like, oh my God, you're so sick. And, you know, Ricky, bless her heart, she's like, try this, Jackie. And woo, child, come on now. I can't let go of this.
You can't. I thought you was like 32.
That's
working.
A soul glow.
But I do agree that, you know, the duopoly isn't the answer. I also think that I believe in elections as harm reduction in some ways. And Wisconsin has some of the most accessible elections, and they still was running out of ballots and shit. But like they have mailboxes that you can fill your ballot out there. They have, I know there was like a ruling around last time, like the Biden-Trump election, because they were all this pushback against people being able to mail in their ballots, but because they had a more liberal like Supreme Court, they were able to do some different things for after the Janet lady got on the Supreme Court. So I do think that it helps them to keep the voting access open as possible. And they needed to win this race to make sure they could, you know, fix the abortion access issues, like the drop boxes. That was a whole thing. And they still, like the Milwaukee, when I worked in Milwaukee in 2023, they were still running out of ballots then too. So the fact they were running out of them for this election again just shows that like they already aren't printing enough ballots because they don't think black people will come out and vote. So they ran out again as a whole thing. But yeah, I don't think it's the end all be all. I don't think it's the main solution. I just think that we have to use what we got and then build what we want. And a lot of people aren't doing that. A lot of people are using what we got and complaining all the time.
Right. Right. And I do think it's important because and I do have to kind of check my own self sometimes. Like when the revolution happens and we win, we still gonna have to have elections. Right? We're still going to have elections. So we have got to get this voting system and how we want it to operate right now. Like we have to address these issues that exist in the election system now, because we still going to have to vote for elected officials after the revolution. Right? So how are we going to do that? We have to look at how we want voting to look after the duopoly ceases to exist. It's not that we throw voting away. It's what do we do with the electoral system in this new system that we want after this piece of shit goes away. So I think it is important for us to look at these things. But I think you have another story in here.
The one that Ricky
yeah.
Can you pull it up?
I can. And here it is. Ta-da!
Okay, cool. It's a Hood Communist article about understanding bodily autonomy through triple oppression. And we kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday, Kim. So that's probably why she wanted to go over this article. But can you make it a little bigger?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Written by Erica Keynes, of course, and Musa Springer. Didn't we have Musa on yesterday?
Musa was with us yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I love how y'all connect, the previous guests that we had to today. So Ricky is talking about the concept of triple oppression that Claudia Jones wrote about. Triple oppression encompasses the interconnected struggles faced by Black/African women as a result of their race, gender, and class. Jones's analysis of triple oppression highlights the systemic barriers and intersecting forms of discrimination the Black and African woman experience. In this context, self-determination refers to the ability of individuals and communities to govern themselves autonomously, free from external oppression or control. And self-advocacy, on the other hand, emphasizes the agency and empowerment of individuals in advocating for their own rights, needs, and well-being. Viewed in this light, it is not accidental that the American bourgeoisie I'm sorry, that word always makes me laugh. Sorry. Has intensified its oppression not only of the Negro people in general, but of Negro women in particular, wrote Jones. Nothing so exposes the drive to fantasization in the nation as the callous attitude which the bourgeoisie displays and cultivates toward Negro women. The vaunted boast of the, how many big words she gonna use? My God. Okay. The vaunted boast of the ideologists of big business that American women possess the greatest equality in the world is exposed in all its hypocrisy when one sees that in many parts of the world, Black African communities, particularly Black African women, must assert their self-determination. I agree. By defining their own narratives, priorities, and strategies for liberation. And through self-advocacy and the notion of bodily autonomy, Black/African women can challenge and resist the oppressive structures that seeks to marginalize and silence them, reclaiming their voices and agency and shaping their own destinies. And for folks who weren't watching yesterday, we had Musa on who was talking about abortion access and how there was a woman who had been arrested who had a miscarriage and like had been accused of a crime because of that miscarriage. And we were talking about bodily autonomy and self-determination. And Musa mentioned Ricky coming down to do like a workshop with them about this like exact topic. So I think it's great that we put it up to talk about it. And I also think a really good example of the oppression, that the triple oppression that we're feeling, was like what folks were talking about in the chat yesterday about like having ADHD and how Black women, you know, most times have ADHD but are not diagnosed because we're, you know, just disregarded because of our race, gender, and class. And I'm pretty sure my therapist said she's pretty sure I've always had ADHD, but like she misdiagnosed me. I actually like yelled at her about that. She misdiagnosed me. Doctors misdiagnosed me, and that's because it looks different in Black women, which we kind of talked about in the chat. And I think that those levels of triple oppression really do affect that, because my race and gender and class really made folks think that I was just an angry Black woman versus I was actually overstimulated and y'all getting on my last fucking nerves talking so much. But, you know.
I mean, listen, bodily autonomy discussions in this day are so critical and important, but even and especially in those abortion restrictive states, I mean, as Musa pointed out yesterday, I think you did as well, Amber. I mean, these abortion restrictive states are also abstinence only states when it comes to sex education in public schools. So, you know, we have so many of young Black girls and boys who fully don't know or understand or are intentionally not being taught how their bodies work in order, I guess, to trap them into parenthood to continue to create the labor source in a lot of these places in America as a whole. But as Musa pointed out, you know, the overlap of the abortion restrictions, the, you know, expansion of the carceral state in these abortion restricted places, all of these things are overlapping. So if we don't teach our young folks about how their bodies work and what their options are and how to stop and prevent pregnancy, we are literally setting people up to potentially lose their lives in a variety of ways, but pregnant people in particular, because if you can't or don't know how to prevent pregnancy and you find yourself in the same situation as this 24-year-old Georgia woman who's now facing criminal charges for an not abortion, a miscarriage, which is crazy work.
And it's wild.
It's going to be a life and death situation, literally, for girls and women and pregnant folks.
And it's so interesting that you talked about the way you were misdiagnosed, Amber. Like I had the kind of the same experience with a couple of medical issues with fibroids for a while. But also with my own mental health issues with the past few years. I finally was able to get to a therapist who just flat out diagnosed me with like, you have severe depressive disorder without psychotic incidents, generalized anxiety disorder, and complex PTSD with complex grief disorder. And she's just like, you need to go sit. She literally told me, you need to go sit down somewhere and stop talking to so many people. Because she's like, it's not helping you. You need to take care of yourself. And it's like, you have to go through so much in this system to get to a person who is going to treat you like a human being and listen to you and hear what your particular issues are, so they can really make an accurate diagnosis for you. That just adds to the stress. I mean, because just having somebody understand that, no, I'm not suicidal. I am just very sad and angry because of all the hell I've been through.
I think that it's okay to be unhappy. I think my favorite thing to me really come to terms with that. Like, not everybody's happy all the time, and you can, feel extreme sadness and nothing come from it. Like, I don't think it's dangerous. I think that people should be able to feel their feelings. So because we tell folks, well, if you say you depressed and you might be suicidal, like you're taking it over the edge,
right?
And you don't need to go that far. I might just be a little sad today. It's really okay. It's not the end of the world. But I actually learned about Black women.
Oh, my bad. I would love for y'all to have a Women's Health Wellness Wednesday one of these days. Bring in a doctor and discuss certain things. That would be very.
Oh, we should hit up Dr. Raquel Martin. I love her real bad. And she live in Nashville. I met her a few times. She's real cool.
See if you can link that up.
I got her contact. I'll email her. Actually, Dr. Raquel Martin, she hosted a CLE class for therapists on how to diagnose and write clinical plans for Black people, not just Black folks, like just because you're Black, but like Black gay men, Black women, Black folks of different like orientations, so that they could write, accessible plans for them. And I sent it to my therapist, and her husband went, because they're both therapists. And she said it was a great class. Like, she gave them so much knowledge that really helped them to write better like diagnoses and plans for patients. So I was really excited about that. So I definitely will email her and ask her. But I actually learned about Black women and ADHD from TikTok. It was a lady on there talking about it, and I said, you know what? That sounds just like me. It's none of the typical ADHD traits. Like, she was explaining how sometimes, because as Black women, we're just trained to keep going, like not to like stop and rest. You just keep going and keep going, and then something simple will happen, and you kind of get like a little upset, but then you keep going, and then something real small will happen, and it blows up, and it becomes a huge thing, and you go into like a depressive episode for like 2 weeks. And I said, God damn, I got ADHD.
All right.
Knew it immediately.
Let's make that happen.
I mean, we were having a health discussion until you came in here.
Sure was.
Well, sometimes y'all don't do time too good, and it's 10 o'clock.
Whoa, it's our show.
Hold on. Respect to the Flowises, but she came on rather late after 10 a.m. and you were quite willing to hang around for that, but you want to interrupt this discussion.
If you hate women, just say that.
Oh shit!
Women that don't have British accents.
Well, I'll let y'all shut this down then, and I will remove myself. Have a great day.
And I know people wanted us to talk about Cory Booker, but fuck that man, honestly.
I mean, I think it takes a lot to filibuster for that long.
But it wasn't even a filibuster, from what I understand. Like that was I was a little confused yesterday, because I'm like, what bill was he filibustering? He wasn't filibustering. He was up there just running his yam for 24 hours.
Well, they were supposed to be voting on some appointments. So he was just disrupting that process. Like, they were supposed to vote on some appointments the night before and that day. Because when he finished, you saw that they came up and they started talking about an appointment for US something. I don't know. So he was just disrupting them making some votes, but it didn't have, to me, it doesn't have the impact we would think we want, because we don't have a majority. So there's nothing being voted on that's going to help. I do think that for like very patriotic people, like I'm not patriotic, I don't care. But for like the super like dim patriotic people, it was like, look at him reading all this good stuff in the record. This is going in the record. This is what matters. I was like, girl, you never had even read a congressional record. Do you know where to find those? I do, but I know you don't. And I know you're never going to read it. So whatever. But I think In New
I
Jersey,
mean, what are we to take away? I mean, again, Al Green, Cory Booker, Jasmine Crockett, like these elected Black Democrats are being held up. And look at these patriots, look at these heroes standing against, in the face of, and it's like, nigga, they've been in Congress for 20 fucking years. When have they previously stood against?
I mean, this is the guy who voted for every weapons and aid package, voted for every weapons and aid package to Ukraine and Israel. During his little filibuster, he spoke Hebrew, y'all. Come on.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ. And y'all want me to talk about that nigga? No. Fuck.
Woo.
I think that he also pandered with, like, when he, like, I know that I haven't been a perfect representative. I know that I've messed up. I know the Democratic Party has let y'all down. Like, he was really on his apology tour for a second there for like 3 hours. I said, when he started getting delirious talking about M&Ms, I said, oh, he finna tell it all. Oh boy. He said, I'm gonna let the gentle lady from Hawaii speak, but I just want to let you know that M&Ms came from Newark.
Oh Lord.
M&Ms were made in Newark. And I try to keep some. He's like, try to keep some M&Ms on my desk because they were made in Newark. I said, nigga, what is wrong with you? He was getting real delirious. I said, well, this is gonna go left.
I don't know why people are making it
funnier and funnier.
I
will say, he said some good statements about the patriarchy though. He said, this is the most power I done ever had because I ain't gotta let nobody talk. And that's really dangerous for a man, don't you think? The patriarchy, that men have really caused some violence from that. Like, he really started getting like a little deep. I said, no, wait a minute.
I was like,
this was standing up for 20 hours do for you? Hold on. He said, we really need to address that. I said, you can address the patriarchy?
I was like, wait a minute now.
God.
Is this how we gonna get you to vote right? We get you up here and talk for 25 hours and then you get delirious and then we just slide a ballot, slide a bill in front of you and maybe you'll vote right on it. I don't.
What stimulant was Cory using? Was he on Vyvanse,
That's
Adderall?
a good question.
They said that he'd been preparing for this. They said he'd been preparing for like a few days or a week or something, and that he's vegan, so he's used to not even eating that much during the day anyway, so there aren't that many vegan options or something. And I was like, but he ain't even drink no water, really. Like,
well, he didn't want to take a leak. But anyway, I'm pretty sure he was off some sort of narcotic. There's no question about that. So? Like, absolutely. This is Capitol Hill with the best drugs, hand delivered, hand carried.
Lasting for like 8 hours. Being real, like even an upper is only gonna last you so long.
Maybe he had the slow release. He had the slow release joint.
I honestly don't think he took anything because I was watching like for most of it. I would come in and out, like I would drop some work and do something for an hour and then come back. You could see the exhaustion taking over him. Like you could see him starting to like bend over, get delirious, saying like he started to stop saying the little sentence he was supposed to say. He kept forgetting to say that. That's why he had that sheet of paper. You could tell he was kind of losing it for a second. So I don't know if he was on something because he wasn't acting like it. He was acting like he was really not gonna make it. And I said, "Damn, I hope I get to see him fall," but he didn't fall.
He's got a tolerance. Anyway, I think anyone that you see on television is on drugs. Let's be clear. Like I think every politician is on some sort of prescription. I think all your favorite media personalities also on prescription. So everybody's on something these days.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. Drugs. The whole thing is just it's another one of these. That like you said, Amber, Cory Booker with the filibuster, Jasmine Crockett with her little, girl from around the block kind of insults. The what is it? The TikTok dance videos from the Democrats with the street fighter with the street fighter. All of
I hated those. I said, bro, this is corny as fuck. Also, that trend is from like last year. Why are y'all so late?
All of this is performance. This is all the Democrats are doing as far as resistance.
They got no majority. All you can do is make a TikTok video. The best I can do for you is a fighter stance.
Right. That's it. This is the best I can do for y'all. And people are cheering that. I'm okay.
I wasn't feeling it at all. And there was this one girl, I follow like a lot of millennials on TikTok. There's this one girl, Jamila, who does like just your regular yapper content. She should be on there talking, and she made a video that people hated, which was about how she doesn't want a politician to be a celebrity, and then Jasmine Crockett was doing too much. And I was like, although I understand what you're saying, like that's not realistic because she's like one of the biggest politicians, so they are gonna treat her like a celebrity. Like that's what happens, which is why you're getting so much. Like she was getting a lot of slack for that video, and I was like, I mean, you're not wrong. She shouldn't have said the Hot Wheels shit. Like people obviously are offended by that, but also they do treat her like a celebrity. So any kind of like pushback against it is like, you're gonna get a lot of backlash because she's really fucking popular. And she ain't passing no goddamn bills. She ain't doing nothing. Some other girl made a response video to her and was like, she wrote over 30 pieces of legislation and co-sponsor over 200. I said, co-sponsor don't mean shit. She just put her name on the bill. And it's usually her staff putting her name on the bill, not her. Because I know Jasmine Crockett. I did an event with her and I know her staff. So I know that her chief of staff is putting her name on stuff. And you've been in Congress for how many years? And you only had 30 pieces of legislation?
Yeah,
like we can be honest.
How long has she been in Congress?
Like 4 years.
So 2 terms.
Yeah, she had 2 terms.
I'm like,
4 years a long time. And I talk shit about Bernie only doing resolutions. I'm gonna definitely talk shit about her not writing no damn bills. 30 bills in 4 years.
What is this? Why am I supposed to call my senators about the joint resolution of disapproval? Was this
the continuing resolution or something else?
I think it has to do with continuing to send stuff to Israel. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But anyway, y'all want to wrap it up, or we want to keep rolling? In spite of, are we going to spite the ear doctor and make this a longer show? Just
nah, because I got work to do, so I don't want to spite the ear doctor. Yeah. All right, ear doctor, come on, let's.
Oh, I thought he left.
Did he left for real?
I think he left. When he said bye, I think he meant it. So, listen, remixers, thank you so much for spending some extra few bonus moments with us on Women's Wednesdays for the Remix Morning Show. Thank you so much to Amber coming through in the clutch, last minute, heeding the call.
You hoes need me, so I'll put it.
That's right. I agree. I accept that.
Somebody in the chat said I should filibuster. They said they need all Amber all day. I said, oh, y'all are funny. I have a job.
So we'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the Remix Morning Show. Be sure to set your bells and notifications for all the wonderful Black Liberation media programming that we have here to offer. And we'll check y'all on the flip side, y'all.
Yep.
Somebody got to hit in stream. Deuces.
Yes, I do it. Okay. Peace.